reminding the luxury of your company. Tonight our panel is going to be talking about what it takes to build a luxury brand and, just as importantly, a luxury experience. Hope all of you had a chance to try Solely Penguin as well. That's actually one of my other companies. And if not, please try it afterwards. Michael, huge thanks to you again for hosting for us tonight. I'd actually like to just turn it over to you to say a few words about the Four Seasons and introduce yourself.
My name is Mike. Okay, so diving right in, Michael, we'll start with you. The Four Seasons obviously is an iconic luxury brand. And in building that brand, obviously over the last 20 years, the definition of what makes a hotel a luxury hotel has drastically changed. What are you guys doing to stay on the cutting edge and continue to be one of the top luxury destinations in the world?
I fully agree, and I think most luxury marketers will agree that it's no longer a push strategy of sending the message out. It's more of a pull strategy of the customers coming into you and receiving the brand and starting to ask questions and understand the brand. With what you said about ambassadors, I think that ties into something for you, Michael. Your service has not, while the company has changed and the experiences have always been customized, your service hasn't changed. How have you kept that service at the level it is since day one? That's absolutely brilliant when you talk about the idea of engaging that customer outside of the purchase and after the purchase. That's an art that's really starting to be lost in today's world. Michael, I'll let you make a comment. Before you do, I want to give a shout out to one of our members of the council, Sandy Edry, who I know is in here with Keller Williams. He's created a new concierge program because in real estate it's obviously 5, 7, 10, 15 years between purchases, and how do you keep that customer engaged? So he's doing some really brilliant stuff to keep customers engaged on an absolute long term. And Michael, what do you guys do?
I was just going to add, those nerds are my guests today.
All right, so I want to leave a little time for Q&A. So the last question, which I want to have all of you answer, real short, minute apiece or less. What's your personal definition of luxury?
Okay, I need a minute to think about it. No, my personal definition of luxury, I think, it's really what's important to you. And I think it changes at different stages in your life, at different stages during the year. It might just be sleeping in on a Saturday. I mean, as crazy as it sounds. It might be going out and working really hard and buying, that car you want, or painting, or whatever it might be. It might be, for me, it might be a vacation to a non-Four Seasons hotel. I went to St. Bart's for my wife's 50th. It was one of the best vacations ever until I got the bill. But that was luxury. I mean, I was like so happy to go. So I think it changes all the time, and I think my taste certainly changes to what I view as a luxury experience or a luxury product.
Okay, Michael.
For me, it's one word. It's refined.
Great, Gary.
I have a few thoughts on it, but again, I agree. It's a personal perspective, but again, luxury for me are things like being able to wear my Lululemon ABC pants 4 days a week, and I don't have to put on a suit. Again, I think it's very personalized, but I will say, again, as far as luxury goes and flying private, it's the one thing that no matter how many times you do it, it's the one thing you never get tired of. So that's what I'll say there.
Right, Colin?
2 words: bespoke experience.
Wow.
However, I will say, I was creative director for Legends for 3 years and we worked together, and I never got in a commercial aeroplane for 3 years. I used those 14 different categories of planes like a yellow taxi. That is the shot.
Into that. Okay, well, we have about 8 minutes for Q&A. So happy to take some questions. The one thing I ask is tell us who you are and what your company is. So your hand go up first.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I'm Jennifer Claire Scott, CSVP with Empire Force Events. We are now known as Access New York Metro. And
Please
thank
tell
you.
Jackie I hope she feels better, and please direct your question to one panelist.
Seriously? Okay, I think I can do that.
Perfect.
Jacqueline's sick as a dog. She did not need to share those germs with anybody. Although the concept of luxury seems antithetical to the sharing economy, I was actually very pleasantly surprised to hear several of you talking about that. So, the concept of a membership airline and sharing rides, and instead of choosing a car service, choosing as an organization to rely on an Uber. I suppose if I have to direct it to one person, it's going to have to be to Colin. But what I'm curious to know is, where does the sharing economy fit, or how is the sharing economy going to impact luxury events and or hospitality as we move forward?
Great question.
I think it's about access. And what is one of the biggest trends we're seeing in socializing today? It's the popping up of all these private clubs. So we were just talking about a few minutes ago, saying not everything is being available to everyone. You know, the Soho House is arguably probably the most prolific social club in the world today. And I've been to the one in Istanbul, the one in Berlin, the one in London, Los Angeles. They're amazing. They do it better than anyone else. I think people want, excuse me, I think people want community, and they want things that are not accessible to everybody else. Did I answer the question?
A bit. So if I can
Well, we're not going to do a follow-up, unfortunately. So be around afterwards. Yes.
Hi, I'm Rocky from On the Move. I'm the creative director, and I want to ask Michael from the Four Seasons. Off the top of your head, don't think too hard. Tell me about the 5th season. Think.
What was the question?
I would like
Tell
you to
Michael
tell me
about
about the 5th season.
That's a great question. I think, it's the evolution of the brand. I think, we were just a hotel company when I first started. That's what Mr. Sharp founded. I think the 5th season, in fact, we have a jet, the fact that we're into luxury condominiums. I think you'll start to see lifestyle come from Four Seasons in the future. And I think that's part of it. It's branching out, because now we are a global brand and we're known everywhere, even though we're still a very small company. So I think that would be the 5th season.
Very nice.
Better not become 3 seasons, then we're really.
Well, thank God it was upgraded to one in Houston.
Yes.
That was becoming a 3 seasons.
Yes.
How's it going? Deepak Sinha. I represent a venue, event space in Greenwich Village called the Sousa House. And we're actually hosting a chic for a couple of weeks, so sorry about that, Michael. So my question, and you guys have touched on it a little bit, but when it comes to the millennials, or even just today's generation, technology is very important. And I'm not going to direct this question to one person, but...
You have to.
I have to?
You have to.
All right, fine. In that case, I would direct it towards Michael. How are you using technology to better understand your guests? I'd love like a cutting edge example of how are you building these profiles and how are you communicating to your guests in a more relevant way as you did, as opposed to like 10 years ago.
I know you're looking at me, but I was hoping you were looking at him. But, it's interesting because we just did a digital campaign when we opened up this hotel. So we worked with our agency, and I had a PowerPoint deck, and they explained to me what we would do, because it used to be just traditional direct mail. And then it was like pay-per-click and search engine and all that stuff. And they did this presentation of how now they're working with Sojourn, and there's a couple of others, I forget what they were, and they were able to target specifically somebody who maybe goes to Neiman Marcus, spends some money, buys a Mercedes, lives in a certain demographic, to drop ads directly to those persons. So it's become much more targeted to the one individual that follows a certain pattern for us to target to them, whether they're millennials or not. I will say, adding to that, though, the brand is certainly a much younger brand now than we were many years ago. We're trying to constantly evolve and appeal to that younger guest by having cool bars, restaurants, the sense in the lobby, the music, the uniforms, all those types of things. Certainly from a social media point of view, I'd say 10 years ago, social media coordinators within our hotels were about to be fired because they were not adding any revenue. And now, they're some of the best paid people in the organization. Most hotels have a dedicated social media person, and all they do is reach out and try and connect with these influencers. We're just opened up the spa. We got our permit in February, and of course, we're reaching out to influencers, inviting them in for complimentary massage or facial so that they can post on Instagram. So you have to check your account.
Yeah, all 4 of us are sitting here.
But it's amazing to me what's happened, and it is like you were saying. Everything is accessible. Everything's out there to have information included. So we are really trying to use technology much more to benefit. It's the one comment though. Our guests tend to say is that our technology is not the best as a brand. So when this hotel was built, it was built with the latest technology in the guest rooms throughout, in the meeting space and everything else. But I think we have a ways to go on it as well.
Can I just chime in? I think the big game changer is still coming down the line, and companies like Google, Facebook, and Apple are working so hard at it. It's all about AI. AI is the next thing. There's so much data that they have on us, they can start to predict what we want, when we want, one particular time of the season, morning, noon, and night. And I think that's going to be a very, very interesting area, because that's going to be the biggest game changer.
Yeah, Colin, to that point, we were talking with a company out of New Zealand called Rush. They're a digital technology company, and they're looking at ways to work with designers, have an artificial intelligence system, understand the lines, the shapes, the feel of a designer, then go to the customer, understand their preferences, and create a bespoke product specifically for that customer using artificial intelligence. So that's definitely something we're seeing on the
It's
horizon.
insane, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. We've got time for
We're all
one
going to
more
be out of
question.
control.
Yes.
I'm Bradley. I'm currently an independent contractor. I used to work at the New Amsterdam Theater organizing events for Disney on Broadway. My question is for you, Colin, because you talked about privacy and how you view privacy as being integral to luxury. How do you then attract new customers while keeping this air of privacy or exclusivity?
We're all social media whores, let's be real. Am I right? Everybody's looking about how can I grow my Instagram, how can I grow my digital footprint? Because there was a time when I used to get paid really big fees to do speaking engagements, and it's because of my work on Oprah and things that I've done in the past. And all of a sudden, I came across a digital marketing agency. With that following, you can get $10,000. We used to get $100,000 before. So I think the world, the playing field has changed completely. So I think all of us use social media to promote our businesses. But how we operate our business is very different. We don't talk about our customers. Many of us, of our high-profile clients, are given a pseudonym. We have no social media at those parties and events. So it's kind of a two-edged sword in a way. In one way, you want the whole world to know about you, so we use social media in all those formats and all those platforms to promote ourselves and to put ourselves out there and to come up with a unique message that hopefully will set us apart from everybody else. But at the end of the day, we fiercely protect the privacy of our clients and our customers.
If I can just add to that, I think one of the things with technology that allows you to do what you're speaking about, controlling privacy and exclusivity, is because you have so much control of what technology can do, you can pinpoint that single person based off of an action. So it's no longer having to communicate to a broad group of individuals. You can talk to this person right here when you want to and how you want to. So you have the ability to get into their living room, their bedroom, their bathroom very easily. And you can keep it a one-way dialogue.
Right. Actually, we came in right on time. Michael, Garrett, and Colin, thank you guys. It's been an absolute treat sitting over with you. Thank you all for joining us. Please feel free to rush the stage.
Luxury and curated. We have to. Ladies and gentlemen, stay right there. I'm looking right.
Privacy, don't post that.
That's a nice little toast. Thank you so much right here. That's it. That's it. Skull. Salute.